Well, I keep saying, that one of the things I want this podcast to do is to give behind the scenes tidbits, information about our industry, funny moments that have happened to us throughout the years. And especially for me, I've been in Colombia for almost 9 years. So I have a lot of stories, you guys, and a lot of things you might not know. And I actually have not even told Jared this story because I wanted his initial reaction. But in the spirit of graduation, this story really came to my mind, and I thought a lot of people would enjoy it. But a year ago on our 30 Minutes sports show, Sports Zone, I had Joyce Edwards come in and be a guest on our show. She came in studio with her mom. It was fantastic. It was the week of her graduation. So I think we recorded it on a Monday, and she was graduating on Friday. And of course, we'd already knew she was going to South Carolina. So I was very excited to have her on the show. Everyone was excited that she was here. It was great. Joyce sat down, and I don't like wasting people's time. So if you come in the studio for an interview, I'm like, let's, get you mic'd up. Let's do it. And I want you to be able to, go about your day. They live in Camden. So it's a bit of a drive from downtown Columbia. And I wanted them I wanted it to be an efficient day in the studio. So Joyce comes, her and her mom are fantastic. The interview's going great. We start, it's like a 15-minute interview. Joyce is great. We're just bouncing off each other. It's so natural. And I knew Joyce before this, so we knew each other, and it was great. And it wrapped up 15 minutes. Conversation couldn't have been better, Jared. And I'm like, thank you guys so much. This was fantastic. And then our director comes in. We had just gotten a new system at the studio, and that's always kind of tricky. Things happen. And the director comes in, and I was like, and he was like, Matt, I have to tell you something. And I was like, what? And he was like, it didn't record.
No.
And this was not a live interview. So we did record it in the afternoon. I was like,
no.
I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, it didn't record. It like messed up. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, the whole thing? And he said, the whole thing. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? Because this is my show for the day, and Joyce Edwards just did the whole thing. Do I ask her to stay? Do I just give up? And so I just had to be real with them, and I said, Joyce, the interview didn't record. Do you mind doing it again? And she was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I'm saying the whole thing, Joyce, the whole interview. And she was like, oh, the whole thing. And I looked at her mom and I was like, can you guys please stay and do it again? Because this is like our show. We've promoted it, all this stuff. And they were like, yes. And Jared, when I tell you, Joyce Edwards did that interview almost verbatim to how she did it the first time. I asked the same questions, and for a 17-year-old high schooler to literally remember all of her answers that we had just gone over, and we don't plan the questions.
Right.
She didn't know what I was going to ask, but she answered almost every single question the exact same way as the first interview. So, and I was like, that's when I knew, the engineering and all that. I was like, Joyce Edwards is a smart person, because she answered every question. So I was mortified. And if you watch the interview, you can't tell. It was great. But just know that the interview that you saw, and we'll put it in the comments or something, and we'll show you some of it. But if you watch that interview, you would have no clue. But if you remember that interview, just know that was not the first take that we did. It was the second take, and Joyce Edwards nailed it. And so I am forever grateful to Joyce Edwards and her mom for staying after and doing the entire thing again, because they easily could have said,
clutch.
We need to go. And I was like, oh man. So yeah, it was an interesting day. It's one of those things of like, why did the system have to fail now of all times? So yeah, shout out to Joyce Edwards, because that interview ended up doing really well. It got thousands of views on YouTube, and everyone really enjoyed it. And I remember thinking, whew, I'm glad, because
you must have had a knot in your gut.
Oh, I had a knot in my gut. It was take two. Yeah, it was take two. And then you're worried about losing the authenticity of an interview like that, because the first one went so well. And I was like, please, Joyce, please stay and do it again, because I was like, this is our show for the day, and everyone's really excited for it. So yeah, again, forever grateful to Joyce Edwards for sticking around and doing a second interview with me.
I can't imagine. I'm glad that has never happened to me so far.
Yet.
Hopefully never. But Oh, that has to be like the worst.
Yeah, it was one of the ones I was like, why today? So anyway, I got that story and many more in my back pocket for you guys. But again, we will put that we'll share the link in the comments. You guys can watch that interview and you can see just how professional Joyce Edwards already was as a graduating senior. But anyway, we'll have more behind the scenes stories for you guys throughout this podcast.